This is John Bailey, the epic voice of Honest Trailers, and you're listening to the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. It's a Fangirls podcast with five-ish people. The tangents and squee will continue. Squee.
The tangents and squee continue all the way to episode 514 of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. Hey, you guys know how to Madison? Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Fiveish Fangirls podcast. So glad you joined us. Let's start off like it work on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bengal.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone.
Yes, we live.
We're back. For better or worse.
We might have had a couple lesser restoration potions, some revivify.
Yeah, something. A little something.
Yeah.
Little something. So, yeah, it's been absolutely just bonkers. Working in public education is not for the faint of heart or faint of immune system.
No. Boy, howdy. Yeah.
So.
And speaking as someone who has a few more years under her belt than you.
Yeah.
It takes a bit for that immune system to kick back in after the summer break.
Yeah. Yeah. I was, poor Holly got sick.
Yep.
And then I got really sick. I had a temperature of 100 at one point. So, you know, like you do. So yeah, that was, do not recommend.
Exactly. Yes. We would like to speak to a manager, please.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, just pass on that and pretend that did not happen. So yeah. Meanwhile, Chauncey is still sick.
Oh boy, buddy.
Yeah. Well, he's at least still coughing. I would say at this point he is probably not actually like sick, like has germs. It's this point his body is just all like, hey, coughing is fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's continue to do this activity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've been there, done that. Do not recommend.
Nope.
At all.
Sleep. Who needs that? Let's just get it. Let's just clean this out of our system this way, and
yeah, it's not. It's not fun. I feel bad for him. So we'll see if he can kick this thing to the curb ASAP. So, did that stop us from driving all the way out to Ohio over the weekend to go see Paul McCartney again? No. Not at all. Oh, I love that man. I love my husband too.
Yeah, I'm slowly starting to make my way through the oral history book of Wings that has tied into that the screenshot that you snapped of the documentary. The documentary, yeah.
Yep.
So it's been interesting reading through there.
I bet. Well, since it has been a hot minute,
yeah,
we need to do some news at least. Something resembling the news. So, starting with some unfortunate 10 o'clock news. Although This is 10 o'clock, like several weeks ago. But hey,
Mhm.
it is what it is.
Yes.
So Nabil Shaban, you may not know his name, but if you're familiar with, especially with the Six Doctors era,
Yes. Oh, yes.
he was
Mhm.
not one of my favorite agitators. He wasn't necessarily a villain. He was just more, he was
A
just there,
nuisance?
yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily even much of a nemesis. He was like a Ferengi,
Yeah,
like
a nuisance.
they're
Yeah.
yeah. He's just more of a nuisance more than anything. Yes. Syl, in
Yes.
Vengeance and Varos, he died a couple weeks ago in mid-October, at the age of 72. So, which, I mean, considering, I don't know necessarily what I guess the mortality rate is for people with his particular condition. He had a form of brittle bone disease. So that's why he's, looked the way he did. But he found a way to make it work. So,
Mhm.
and become an actor and use that to do a lot of um um advocacy for actors with disabilities. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, he was whether I care for him or not, still definitely a very memorable character.
Yes, very memorable.
I will give him that.
Yes.
Um, then staying in the TARDIS for a hot second, we do have, I guess, official confirmation now of, at least we know that Doctor Who will not be streaming on Disney Plus.
Correct.
At least as far as the next season is concerned.
Mhm.
Disney Plus has confirmed they will not be partnering for the next season. However, the BBC has said that they do plan on, doing the next season. Um, so that but for right now, the soonest we can look to as far as anything from the Doctor Who universe is the War Between the Land and the Sea. BBC, people who live across the UK and have access to BBC Player will be able to watch it late this year, and then the rest of us will get it sometime next
TBD
year.
2026. Yeah.
It just says 2026. That's
Yeah.
all. It said
Mhm.
BBC iPlayer exclusively in the UK December 2025. Disney Plus were available in 2026.
Hopefully it's New Year 2026.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of hope it's a little later, because otherwise that's going to make for a very long year, because we're not getting Doctor
True.
Who until Christmas next year.
True. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there is that. And I'm hoping,
Yeah.
we get a streaming service that maybe we'll get licensing so maybe we can actually get Doctor Who back on BBC America and have those lovely marathons that used to happen during Christmas and that.
that would be nice.
Can you tell I miss those?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I do have physical, but it's just, sometimes it's just nice to have it tossed on and not have to
Yeah.
get up and
Sometimes you don't want to
switch
have to
discs.
turn up, fire up the TV and the player and
Yeah.
find the right disc and
Mhm. I
yeah.
mean, yes, first world problems, but sometimes it's just nice.
Yes. Sometimes you just want to be able to pull up a streaming service and be like, give me what I want
Yes.
right now.
Mhm.
Please and thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, at this point, Doctor Who has been on Netflix.
Yep. Sci-fi
Doctor
channel.
Who. Yeah, Doctor Who has been on Amazon Prime?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Disney Plus.
Yep. HBO Max.
HBO Max. It's like, okay, we're kind of running out of services here.
Oh, now this would be something. I mean, they had that Friendship Day with another certain flagpole sci-fi fandom.
That's true, and that's Paramount. Yeah,
That's Paramount. So maybe that would. Hey, maybe that would be cool.
Maybe.
I mean, I saw something. I'm not 100% sure, but supposedly Paramount Plus is going to be upping prices again for a subscription. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, if that gets part of the deal, sure. I don't mind the pay increase if we get some. If that would be a.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, we are temporarily suspending most of our streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Just as we get ready to, we're actively looking for a new place to live, and that means, switching everything over to the new address, and we're gonna be busy packing up our, 16 plus years of living in the same place.
Yep.
And we got the holidays and everything, so it's like we've suspended almost everything except I think Spotify and Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't
I was like,
you.
I don't have Paramount Plus. I can't watch Inter Milan. But let's have to live vicariously through the chat and catch the highlights after matches are over. But it's a small price to pay to finally, shake up our lives a little and finally get that little furry potato we've been dreaming about for years. So, because first we need a yard. Then once we have a yard,
things fall into place.
Are off.
Yep.
Just trying to find the right place with the right yard. It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah.
So, any hoozles. So there's that. That's a thing that's happening with Doctor Who. And then to shift a little to convention related stuff. Our good friends over at PopCon. Tickets for PopCon 2026 are now on sale. So that's exciting. And between now and I believe the end of the year, or at least through Christmas, they are offering a every PopCon ticket sold except for VIP. Yeah, well, they'll still do the donation for VIPs, just VIPs won't get the discount. So that's your asterisk on that, the fine print. But on Thursdays, if you do your PopCon ticket purchasing, they will donate $5 to Gleaners, which is a local food bank here in Indy. And then every other day of the week, every ticket purchase, they'll donate $1. And then at the moment, they're offering a 35% discount. So you get a nice, juicy discount on your PopCon admission, except for VIPs, I'm sure. Sorry. But at the same time, you're also helping support one of the biggest food pantry / soup kitchen charities, homeless charities that we have here in the city, that does a lot and has done a lot for the less fortunate in and around Indianapolis for as long as I can remember. That's cool. I like that. And it doesn't surprise me because our friends over at PopCon, they're awesome people. So, but so there is that. So just go to the PopCon website to get more details on how to do all that. So, what applies for what and all that fun stuff. And don't forget, PopCon is this coming May. So, yay! Oh, excuse me. And then, oh my goodness, this is going to be fun. Coming next year in theaters, including IMAX, which I may have to see this in IMAX just cuz. But apparently, our boys in Spinal Tap have decided that, I guess, keep their attempts at recreating Stonehenge, because they end with disaster, are just going to go straight to the source and have filmed a concert at Stonehenge that will be released next year. So, Spinal Tap at Stonehenge, the final finale. No idea if Elton John is going to show up or not, considering like he's not their biggest fan at the moment. So, oh my, oh, that's gonna be fun. And then, as Holly alluded to, as we mentioned, however many episodes ago, we are getting new Beatles streaming, I believe on Disney Plus this holiday season for Anthology, the new Anthology. But they're coming to Prime next February. Happy birthday to me. Is we're getting Paul McCartney, Man on the Run, and it's going to be a documentary about Paul's post Beatles career, which is still going.
Yes.
I just saw the man on Saturday. He's 83 years old. He played for 2.5 hours straight. No opening act. And he played. Yeah. He played bass. He played guitar. He played the mandolin. He played the ukulele. He played the piano, upright and baby grand. It was awesome. And he did play the new song now and then.
Oh, good.
I was so glad that he added that because that wasn't a thing last time I saw him. So I thinking to myself, I was like, oh, I wonder if he's added now and then to the set list, and he did. I'm like, I live in a time where there's new Beatles music, and I get to see Paul McCartney play it. Like, that's so cool. Oh, but yeah, if you want to learn about Wings and all the fun stuff that Paul did after the Beatles, there's your chance. Wings is having a moment of, as far as over at the McCartney camp. So there's all sorts of new Wings stuff available. So that is exciting. And then of course over in the feeds, I've missed being on several of these episodes because of either being ill and or other things. So I missed out on last month's Patreon for Gold Standard. What Zan and Nick, held the fort for me. Talking about the Skeleton Twins, which is very much your artsy, independent, feel good yet dramatic, very human family dramedy almost black comedy film with two SNL alums who, because they're from SNL, you just assume that they're, anything that they do is going to be a comedy. Nope, not so much. I mean, they're still funny in this. I did watch it. I just missed the recording. So, but it's Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig. So, no, it's not necessarily a feel good movie, but it's very real. And then in the Gold Standard regular feeds, unfortunately, I missed this, and I hate that I missed this. The Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, because I love that movie. I know people are like, wait, what? You don't like Westerns? That's because this isn't like straight up Western. It's, it's The Sting. It's Ocean's Actually, The Sting is Ocean 11, kind of gangster. And if you go a little further back, this is, I mean, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid are like, I mean, yeah, they were notorious outlaws, but it's just the chemistry between our two leads is just, and it's funny too. So, but I did finally come back, make it back into the Gold Standard Theater for our most recent episode in the feeds, talking about the 1992 Sam Raimi directed dark comedy horror monster movie, whatever you want to call it, Army of Darkness with Bruce Campbell. It's essentially it's the third movie in the Evil Dead trilogy. You got Evil Dead 1, and then Evil Dead 2, and then you got Army of Darkness, which, depending on who you ask, people will probably say Army of Darkness is the best out of the three. Which, that's my personal opinion, and we're joined by our good friend Sean Collins. So,
Yay!
Because it was Sean's pick, he brought that for us. So, which is good, because I'd been meaning to getting around to watching Army of Darkness. I'd seen the first two Evil Deads. I don't care for the second one, to be honest with you. But the first one's not bad. It's definitely, the first two are definitely your more traditional kids, young adults out in the woods, doing all the stereotypical things that you do in, 80s.
And or shouldn't be doing in the 80s.
Shouldn't be doing in 80s, like slasher, supernatural type films. So, the first one, if you want more of the traditional, go ahead. The second one, the only thing the second one does is help set up this one. Because really, the second movie is supposed to be like essentially a remake of the first movie. So if you watch, and if you don't know that going into it, you're going to be very confused when essentially it's repeating itself, but just different. Bruce Campbell is the consistency through all three. The rest of the cast is different, but it's still the same location and the same crap happens. And it's like, Bruce Campbell already went through this in the first one, and now he's acting like he forgot it ever happened. And that's because the second one is essentially a remake of the first one with just a slightly bigger budget. But instead of remaking it, they remade it, but different. So it's weird. You could, other than just the ending that leaves you the cliffhanger that sets up the third one, you almost don't need to watch the second one. You could really just either watch the first one or the second one, but you don't need to watch both. And just know that, because reasons, Ash ends up going back in time, and that's where we are in the third one. But there you go. So there's that. And then, of course, we are definitely in a new month now, so that means a book club update.
Yes. Book for this month is Frida Kahlo and the Skull Children. And then December's book is going to be and Tales After.
Nice.
Yep. So we've got our book choices. And then if things go according to plan, then in December there'll be a post for the New Year's book choices.
Which is really wild to think of.
Yeah.
Right.
Very wild to think of.
Crazy! Especially considering it snowed. It
Yeah.
started snowing yesterday.
And
And
I
it
feel
continued to snow today, and it was cold. It's like we will get maybe, a dusting of snow before Thanksgiving or by Thanksgiving. But it's not usually anything significant. It just tends to start getting colder and maybe wet, and we'll get like icy. No, this is snow like it's freaking Christmas Eve.
Yeah. I feel sorry for our friends in the Chicago, Illinois area because, baby, you're getting hammered.
Yeah. 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 So, yeah. My in-laws got snow before us because they're so much further north, so they get some of the lake effect.
We got a little dusting yesterday, and it's basically kind of been chilly
it
here.
Was,
but then I looked. This weekend we're supposed to be up near 60. It's like, okay, come on, Mother Nature, make up your mind.
Mm-hmm. I mean, preferably make up your mind so that it's above freezing, but that's just me.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, my rheumatologist looks at me like, well, yeah, your joints are going to hurt because it's cold. I'm like, but this is like beyond that. Yeah.
Yes.
We got to differentiate the ache from the cold and the ache just, for other reasons. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The ache because of the cold or just the ache because the body just decides that I don't like you at this moment.
No.
I'd like a little more differentiation, please.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm wearing fleece-lined long underwear under my pants and thermal top. And I'm like, I'm still cold.
You're dressing for comfort.
Yeah. Oh my. All right. Well, that's the news. So let's move on to feedback. That's a feedback from Shalane. She says, going back to Pixar, yes, Toy Story 5 comes out next summer after Pixar's next film, Hopper, releases in the spring. The one about the girl in the beaver body, like Avatar, but better. I hope so. And Disney's animation Hexed, which is Disney Animation, not Pixar, will be out next Thanksgiving. Fun fact, some people who grew up in Utah and went to college here now work at Disney Animation and Pixar. Former college colleague of mine has friends who worked on either Zootopia or Coco. A high school colleague worked briefly for Disney and created a small short film for them. That's cool. I wanted to work for Disney Animation myself, but it didn't happen. I went back to theater design instead. Now I work for the theater company. I still hope to work for Disney someday. Well, they definitely do a lot of theater related stuff, not just on Broadway, but in the parks as well. So, about long running franchises, Toy Story getting a 4th and 5th movie, even though many people felt it should have ended at number 3. Shrek 5 is happening despite 4 being the final chapter. Kung Fu Panda getting a 4th despite a neat trilogy. Blue Sky before the Disney deal stretching Ice Age past 3 to 4 to 5 and now number 6. And Illumination making Despicable Me 4. Some people think DreamWorks and Illumination are running out of ideas. At least Sony ended Hotel Transylvania at number 4, which felt like a good ending. Yeah, no. I don't think I've seen any Ice Age past, I think, number 2. I think I've seen bits of Shrek 2, and that's it. I've never seen any of the Despicable Me movies. So. Well. I think I saw the first Kung Fu Panda, and that was about it. So, yeah, it does seem kind of like DreamWorks and Illumination are running out of ideas. DreamWorks is also moving into live action, starting with How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2. I hope Illumination doesn't adapt their films into live action. We already have live action Mario and the Grinch and don't need more. Pixar isn't planning live-action remakes, which is good. Yes. They know where their bread is buttered. DreamWorks Illumination can be hit or miss. Sony Animation does well, and Disney Pixar are usually strong, though they have hits and misses. Recent box office successes: Disney Animation's strongest 2020s movie, including Disney Plus, or Raya and the Last Dragon, Encanto, and Moana 2. Pixar's hits this decade are Inside Out 2 and Soul. Moving on to Diane Keaton, the only movies I've seen her in are Father of the Bride 1 and 2, a family favorite, along with 3 Men and a Baby and Adventures in Babysitting, and Finding Dory. It's sad she won't be appearing on Only Murders in the Building. Fun fact, in Finding Dory, she played Dory's mom, and Eugene Levy played her dad, and Eugene Levy cameos in Father of the Bride, later appears in Only Murders because of his work with Steve Martin and Martin Short. I'll be patient for more Diane Keaton movies from you girls, and hopefully an episode on Father of the Bride 1 and 2, which I think have big anniversaries coming up. Yes, they do. I love those movies. For Gold Standard Spooky Season, I thought you'd cover Halloween-themed films like Halloween or Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Addams Family, and Addams Family Values. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, We Thought of Ghostbusters. But who knows, maybe you'll get some of these outside October. Well, at least as far as Gold Standard is concerned, Shalane, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, one of those you did just list we are getting to before the end of the year. And also, one of these you listed, we're going to get to here on Fiveish Fangirls as soon as we're done with your feedback.
Yes.
I was gonna say.
we had plans of doing this before spooky season.
You know what? But it still works for reasons that I will get to when we get to it. So
yes.
Speaking of pop singers in Disney, the other big announcement besides Taylor Swift's Eras Tour film is that Miley Cyrus has a new song for the next James Cameron Avatar movie, which I'm excited for. Move over Celine Dion and my heart will go on. James Cameron has Miley now, though I still love Celine. With Miley, James Cameron became Disney legends last year, so the timing is perfect. And who knows, maybe the song will get nominated for Best Original Song at the Golden Globes or Oscars. I think Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Wicked for Good will be Best Picture nominees, and maybe Sinners too. I think you're probably going to be right. Since Miley has a new Avatar song, who could be next for future sequels? Sabrina Carpenter, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, or maybe bring back Celine Dion. James Cameron hasn't worked with her since Titanic. I don't know, Celine Dion, she did do that one song for Deadpool too. Back to Taylor Swift. Even though Cats is considered the worst musical adaptation, I love the song she wrote for the soundtrack and the song her character sings. I still have both on my Taylor Swift playlist. I don't. I could probably put it on my Broadway, my show tunes playlist though. So. And if I remember correctly, weren't you planning to talk about best and worst movie musicals? Yes, eventually. We'll get around to it. It's on the list. That's just how. That's our go-to. Everything is on the list, and everything gets written down in pencil.
Yes.
Yep.
So I told Chauncey to tell his parents they were talking about Thanksgiving plans, just because usually my brother and sister-in-law host, but they just moved into a new house. And at the moment, it's in desperate need of updates and some work before they could even think of having people over. And then my in-laws are like, well, we don't have space either at our house. So then they're like, well, maybe Chauncey's cousin, my father-in-law's nephew and his wife, they've hosted before. Maybe they'll do it. And they're like, is Rachel coming? And it's like, right, put me in pencil right now, because I don't know what my health is going to be like on that particular day. If I'm having a good day pain-wise, then sure, I will be there. If I'm not having a good day pain-wise, I am so sorry. I'm going to stay home with my prescription strength medications instead. Especially between now and then, I'll be having more testing done, plus starting physical therapy, plus some other therapies as well. So who knows what kind of condition I'm going to be in by Thanksgiving. Maybe I'll feel tons better. Who knows? Don't get old, kids. It's overrated. Highly, highly overrated.
Yeah. Golden years, my food.
I don't know what David Bowie was talking about.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to touch me in my golden years. I don't think so.
So, yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Shalane, for your feedback. As always. And yes, as we alluded to, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. We were going to do this, like, for Halloween. It would have been perfect, but that's okay. We're still gonna talk about this movie because it's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So, celebrating its 50th anniversary this year, along with the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yes. Yep.
Is one of my personal favorites, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
You've seen all kinds of movies, but you've never seen anything like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Let's do the time warp again. Let's do the time warp again. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is wonderfully weird. I'm your new commander. You now are my prisoner.
They're probably foreigners with ways different than our own.
It's fabulously freaky. It's a trip to transsexual Transylvania.
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I'm transsexual Transylvania.
The story is strange.
For tonight is the night that my beautiful creature is destined to be born.
The songs are super. The scenery is smashing. The cast is completely crazy.
This isn't the Junior Chamber of Commerce, Brad.
There's a mad scientist named Frank N. Furter.
Come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
And Rocky, his incredible creature.
I knew he was in with a bad crowd, but it was worse than I imagined.
A sinister servant named Riffraff.
I remember doing the time warp.
And Brad and Janet.
My name's Brad Majors.
Just a couple of clean-cut kids.
This is my fiancée, Janet Weiss.
Touch it, touch it, touch it, touch me. I wanna be dirty.
Eddie. Magenta.
When shall we return to Transylvania, huh?
Columbia. Dr. Scott.
Great Scott!
So give yourself over to absolute pleasure. See the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You've never seen anything like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is wonderfully weird.
Oh, always a good go-to at spooky season, but also just a good go-to really any time of year. The midnight showings do not discriminate time of year. I mean, you will see more of them around Halloween, but you can find a midnight showing of Rocky Horror somewhere in the country pretty much every night of the year. So, and it just so happens that 4 of the cast members are going to be at GalaxyCon in a few weeks. in Columbus. So we will have Brad and Janet, along with Columbia and Magenta. So, and they have very much been doing the 50th anniversary, press tour all over the place. I guess the Hollywood Forever Cemetery out in Hollywood, where a lot of the celebrities are buried, have been doing after dark film screenings. They did Scream, the OG Scream. And then they did Rocky Horror, and Barry Bostwick was there with very special surprise guest Tim Curry. So, and there's also the there's a documentary out there. And the cast has been doing, press and all sorts of stuff. So it's fun to see. It's fun to see them out and about, talking about this crazy film that really, the thing is with Rocky Horror, and I don't necessarily, I mean, we talk about the history. We'll talk about the history a little bit, but the history of this one is interesting because when you say the title Rocky Horror to people, they're going to think about this, the movie with Tim Curry and Meatloaf and Susan Sarandon and Barry Bostwick in his underwear, and the costumes and the songs and just the wackiness of it, and deservedly so. This is a film that was done on a shoestring budget, on a very tight schedule, with a ragtag group, with with a lot of them with experience as far as theater is concerned, but not necessarily film experience. And for a number of the people in this, they were actually reprising the roles that they had originated on stage, because this is technically a film adaptation of a stage musical. However, when you're talking about the stage version, it is the Rocky Horror Show without the word picture. Because you were talking about the actual stage musical. And when you talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show, you are talking about the movie. Now, whether you're just seeing, you're sitting at home watching the movie, on streaming, or if you've got it on DVD, or if you're going and seeing a screening that involves a shadow cast, which we'll talk about, that is still the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Because if you have, pay at least a little bit attention to what's happening on the stage in the major hubs of New York and London. In New York, I think it's off Broadway, but still in New York, there is a run getting ready to start of the Rocky Horror Show. So if you've ever wanted to see the OG stage musical that inspired the movie, you can do that. But for the most part, if you see an advertisement for Rocky Horror, odds are it is a screening of the film with the shadow cast and the interactive bits, because that's really has what has given it the longevity and the cult classic stature that it has had for the last 50 years. Obviously, well, I mean, for those that know, this was the brainchild of Richard O'Brien, and like I said, it started out a stage version, and the stage version did fairly well, all things considering. But they could have they realized that they could get more exposure if they if they filmed it and put it out into the movie theater. So that's what they did. Is Richard O'Brien said about figuring out how to adapt it into a script that could be filmed. A good number of the cast, at least as far as the major characters, do come back. Tim Curry is the OG Frankenfurter. Some of the people are replacements for the stage cast, but again, not new to doing musicals. But because like Barry Bostwick coming in as Brad, not not a newbie. He was actually I believe he was the OG Danny in Grease on stage, among other things. So I know Meatloaf was a little. Some people were kind of iffy on bringing in Meatloaf for this, but he proved himself actually quite quite capable when he came into film Hot Patootie.
Yes.
And I don't remember who it was that told him. I don't know if it was Richard O'Brien or somebody else. It was all like, don't worry, if we got to do a few takes of this, nobody ever gets it right on the first go, just because it's very lyric heavy and it's quite fast in some spots. And he got it like on the first go.
I think the Steinman lyrics that he had to work with up to that point might have helped.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, this was they had to find a location that would work, that they could because when you have something like a castle, sometimes filming in an actual castle is cheaper than trying to recreate one on a soundstage. So that's what they did, is they filmed in an actual castle. Unfortunately, the castle did not have heat or much in the way of running hot water. So staying warm was very difficult. It's a wonder that not everybody didn't walk away from this with like pneumonia for ages after after filming this. But yeah, they gave it the old, all these people are British, so let's keep calm, soldier on, and managed to finish filming this and getting it put together, and it was okay. It did okay. But it when it first opened, it got the traditional release. Daytime, evening. And I won't necessarily go on in the full, like, the full story, because you can go and listen to the podcast episode. But if you, I have it linked in the show notes. There's an episode of the podcast You're Wrong About, and hosted by Jamie Loftus, and no, that's not Jamie Loftus. Sorry, Jamie Loftus, different podcast. I listen to so many. Sarah, Sarah does You're Wrong About. But she brings in Chelsea Weber Smith, who does a number of podcasts, including American Hysteria. And for spooky season, they talk about midnight ghost shows. And this was something that was done in movie theaters to try and get people to come to the movie theater and stay. Because as we've talked about, the early days of cinema, especially when you get to the Great Depression and people don't have a lot of expendable income, but you could go to the movie theater and sit there all day, but it tended to be, you didn't have a lot of choice. Unlike now, where you have these multiplexes and 15 different screens and all showing something different, you could spend a nickel, and sit in a movie theater all day, but you just kind of had to watch whatever it was showing, and it could be anything and everything. It could be a drama, it could be a comedy, it could, there were cartoons for the kids, newsreels were also part of the movie going experience. But some of these theater owners and operators realize if they put on a bit of a show along with an appropriately themed movie, that they could cater to people to be like, hey, come to this specifically, and they try to get a full house, as many butts in the seats as possible. And they found that horror/monster movies, along with some sort of spooky show either before or after, was really good about getting butts in seats in theaters. And they would do these shows, like I said, sometimes before the movie, sometimes after, where they would do like a seance, or there would be ghosts that suddenly appear in the movie theater. People would get possessed, or somebody's head would get chopped off, or the zombies and monsters and things that glow in the dark and go bump in the night, and they would sensationalize the advertising, like, women do not come to this alone, you will, you'll be frightened and won't sleep for a week, that sort of thing. Sometimes they'd have stuff they'd give away, and also, like, you'll have stories to tell your friends for months. Very just sensational. But that became a thing starting in the 30s, and fell out of favor a little bit. Again, just like movie going in general kind of fell out of favor when the television at home became a thing. But then when people got bored of sitting at home and watching television, and decided they wanted to go back to the movie theater, it kind of picked up again. And this time, it wasn't necessarily like seances and stuff, but it was people wanting to, especially things like musicals, not wanting to necessarily be passive audience. At some point, someone figured out that showing this movie at late at night, essentially midnight screenings, and having the opportunity for the people in the audience to interact, along with having people in costume acting out parts of the movie along with it, and sometimes having those live people in costume, giving opportunities for them to grab maybe some unsuspecting person out of the audience and make them participate whether they want to or not. I've seen that. Could be quite fun. It's fun for those that want to participate, and then it's fun for those that want to participate and maybe came with somebody who was not prepared and had no idea what they were getting themselves into. So but yeah, it was the midnight screenings that helped Rocky Horror really take off, and has been doing it ever since. And makes it one of the longest running, whether you want to call it theater or film. It's because, like I said, you can almost find it playing somewhere around the globe on any night of the week. It's ROI. Although I don't know how much money the cast has actually seen since then. Since the initial, but at least the ROI as far as the fans are concerned, doing pretty good. But yeah, that's the Cliff Notes version of the history of Rocky Horror. Mostly because there's a really good documentary out there. So, I would recommend seeing it. So, and listening to that podcast episode of You Were Wrong About as well, about the ghost cinema. This is one of those movies where I don't remember how I got introduced to it.
Ooh, yeah,
We've had a few of those.
I can't remember either. I mean, I maybe possibly vague recollections of my dad having it on, on the background, and then I kind of realized and sat and watched it, and I did participate. Wasn't quasi midnight, but one of the years when I was in college, they actually during Halloween had a Rocky Horror picture showing at the University Center, and a whole group of us went and dressed up, and it was a blast. It was a blast.
Yeah, I did my first midnight screening. Oh, good Lord, probably 20 years ago, at a venue downtown Indy that does not exist anymore. It was like one of the only places. It was like it was one place that did it like every Saturday night. So throughout the year. So yeah, if you were free on a Saturday night and had nothing else to do, it was something you could go to. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to wait around for a Halloween season for somebody to do it. And yeah, people dress up. The big thing is the kits. Any showing worth their salt has the kits available for fans to purchase if you don't bring your own. And it's full of the props that get used during the different numbers. When I did a screening at GalaxyCon, 2 GalaxyCons ago, I think. Because they usually do a a screening of it that Friday night at GalaxyCon because Barry Bostwick has been a guest at GalaxyCon every year that I've been going. So this is because it's an anniversary year, though. Now we're getting 4 of the cast members instead of just Barry. But yeah, they had the kits for sale. With the newspaper and the playing cards and the rice and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They did before the movie started. Or it was early. Yeah, it was before the movie started. They had people that were willing, even if they didn't know what they were signing up for. They asked for newbies.
Yep.
They asked for the Rocky Horror virgins.
Yep.
And they got initiated. I think if they'd known what they were signing up for,
they would have lied.
They might have changed their mind and kept quiet.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm not a Rocky Horror version, so it didn't matter. But it was and every one is different, so it just kind of depends on who's running it, and I think it also depends on who's running it, where it's happening. Like in this case with GalaxyCon, technically, I think it was probably suggested that it's like PG-13, but technically any age could have came in. It wasn't a separate ticket or anything, so
gotcha.
They did have to keep in mind that there potentially could be children in the audience, so got to keep the initiation a little more family friendly. I mean, in this case, they still made the people run around all the seats in their underwear for a lap. They let them decide on how stripped down they got, but pretty much everybody got to their underwear. Kept all the legal bits covered.
Right.
But yeah, did make them do a lap around all the seats in their underwear. So just saying, when they ask if this is your first time, just know that may come back to bite you in the butt. But if you're a good sport, then I highly recommend you do so. It could be quite fun. And that's really the thing with going to see Rocky Horror. Even if you're just watching the movie at home, if you've never seen it before, you have to have a decent sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
And you really can't take things too seriously.
No. It's hard to peg down and describe exactly what kind of humor it is, because there's so many levels.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it is British, but not.
Right, yep.
So,
it's dark humor, but then not.
Yeah. It's not necessarily politically correct.
Right.
I'm pretty sure transvestite is not the preferred term. In general for trans people, but I think they give this one a pass just because it is kind of so iconic. And it's not used in a way that's meant to be like degrading to trans people. It's very camp. Frankenfurter. If transvestite was a word that people still use, Frankenfurter would fit the definition.
Yes.
So, I mean, even Eddie Izzard, before her transition to being full on, female, called herself a executive transvestite. So, not just a regular transvestite, executive transvestite. So, but yeah, it's even that it's still not necessarily very politically correct. There's some nudity. There's there's sex, drugs, rock and roll. There's an axe killing. There's some cannibalism, kind of. You know,
Yeah, this movie's pretty much got everything.
it's just I mean, just on the surface, you're like, it looks just ridiculous.
Like, how should this movie actually work? But it works.
Right. Yeah. But once you get past the initial shock,
Right. You buckle up and you enjoy the ride.
Yeah, you sit back. Yeah, you just kind of have to sit back and enjoy the ride, and and then maybe sit with it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe like a day or two later, watch it again.
Yep, exactly. It's like, wait a minute, what did I just see? Okay, let me rewatch. Okay, that explains. Okay.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, you've got Barry Bostwick and Susan Sarandon, and they're these young, very yuppie seemingly couple that met in college, and now they want to go and go hang out with the professor whose class they were in together, where they first met. Car gets a flat. They need to call for help. Of course, this is the 70s. Like, you literally, when they're driving in the car and it's raining, and presumably because it was cheaper to be able to get the audio to rights to play this audio than it's like some song. And I don't know why Richard O'Brien just didn't write something to be playing on the radio. I don't know. In a way, I think it's their way of kind of poking fun. They're listening to Richard Nixon's resignation speech on the radio, which very much points you to which time period they're in.
Right.
But it also helps to make sense that, that's why things like cell phones and stuff are not a thing yet.
AAA, not quite near in existence, or few and far between.
Exactly. So they end up going to this castle to try to use the telephone, and find themselves in the middle of just the weirdest life event that they probably never could have dreamed of.
Exactly.
And madness ensues. They meet Riff Raff, they meet Magenta, they meet Columbia, they meet Dr. Frankenfurter, deliciously played by Tim Curry. I love that man. I love him so much. I know that's why I was introduced to this movie, is because of my love of Tim Curry. It's like, well, if you like Tim Curry, you need to see this. This is one of his iconic roles ever.
Right up there with Worst Witch.
Yeah. I'm partial to Clue myself, but
Clue too. Yeah, I mean those.
And also Dr. Poole and Oscar. So
yeah. Well, those 4 movies, those are kind of my top. Tim Curry, and then it, just because he plays the villain so
well. And you want someone still, you want Tim Curry role that's very villainous without being like a literal monster. Like in it, obviously Pennywise is, the dancing clown is just one form that Pennywise takes. Pennywise,
yes, we
don't know what Pennywise's actual form is. Kind of like a Dementor. In a way. And then obviously he plays the devil in blanking on the name of the movie. But yeah, if you want a villainous Tim Curry role where he doesn't play a literal monster, Carl Richelieu in the Three Musketeers.
Oh, that, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and you could also kind of count the concierge in Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Or
In a way.
or more of a jerk character.
Yeah, he's more of a jerk there. So
Sorry, side tangent of the top Tim Curry roles.
yeah, it's only because he's not been pulled out of the hat yet.
Yeah.
He's in there. Trust me, he's in there. He just
hasn't come up
yet.
So this is our trial dry run for the hat pull.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the this almost like trying to describe Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's kind of like trying to describe like what eating pizza for the first time is like. It's like you really just kind of have to experience it,
right? Yeah,
to really understand it.
And everybody's experience is a little bit different because they'll focus on one certain aspect while others of us focus on something else.
Yes. Very much so. Yeah. But I mean, the numbers are, the song and dance numbers are extremely memorable. Even if I think even if people don't necessarily know where it's from, I think a lot of people know how to do the time warp.
Yep.
So, I mean, the instructions are in the song. That does help.
Exactly.
But the costumes are iconic, especially Tim Curry's. So yeah, it's just it's like, how do you explain this?
Yeah.
Like, I can explain why I love it.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I can necessarily explain it.
It's kind of the if you know, you know.
It is very much. I mean, and the thing is like, it was, like I said, the original, when it was originally released in theaters, it flopped. It did not originally do well, but once it became a thing for, at least for Tim, this was life-changing.
Oh, yeah.
He was a theater guy before this. This was his first major movie role. And even if the movie didn't take off immediately, he did. And this was a role that for a while he tried to separate himself from. And like other artists before him and alongside him and after him, eventually you realize, oh, it's not that bad. This is the thing that people know me for.
It's almost like it should be a badge of pride. Like, hey,
yes,
I was a part of this, and that helped me move my career forward.
Yes, very much so. And it's become such a cultural, like, so woven into the zeitgeist. Like, you see it referenced and parodied. There's an episode of the Drew Carey Show, where they all decide to go and they all dress up. Glee did their version, which Barry makes an appearance, even though they had to sanitize it quite a bit. For it's, supposed to be taking place in a high school. This is not a show that would be done at a high school. I actually, somewhat, this is related, but it's still a tangent. I got in trouble a little bit because of Rocky Horror. In my junior or senior year of high school, I took a drama class, and it was like the slightly more advanced drama class, theater class. And one of our projects, because we had to we did some practical stuff, and then we did some actual like performing type stuff, and then we did some technical stuff. And one of our early performance like projects, tasks, homework, whatever that we had to do is they put us into small groups, and we had to take 2 movies that didn't seem like they would go together, and combine them and create a scene.
So kind of like a mashup.
A little bit, yes. And we ended up doing a mashup of Mulan and Rocky Horror.
Interesting.
Yes. So, I guess instead of Mulan dressing as a male soldier, we had Mulan becoming a sweet transvestite from Transylvania. And who got to play that role?
Love
Me.
it. Nice.
So,
Love it.
Yeah. And I guess our teacher didn't know what we were doing beforehand. She wanted it to be a surprise to like everybody. And afterwards, I got a bit of a talking to that the saying transvestite was not necessarily appropriate in school. So thankfully I didn't get like in real trouble, but
right.
I did have to be reminded. And that's it. And that was an early thing we talked about too in class, is like why some shows don't get done in high schools because of their subject matter.
Or you have to do the junior version of it.
Or you have to do the junior version if there is a junior version. But well, like, because I mean, we're all theater kids, so it's like we all had our favorites. And it's like, well, why don't we ever do this one in school? And she'd be like, because of X, Y, and Z. You know, there are some like we couldn't even say the title of, like, so we had to sanitize them if we wanted to talk about them, even just in class. Like, we couldn't call it the best little whorehouse in Texas.
Right.
We just had to say it was that best place in Texas, you know.
Right. Or that best little house in Texas.
Yes. Heaven forbid you say the word whorehouse in a public high school in the late 90s. So,
it's
but
like
yeah. You
hear worse out in the hallways.
Yeah, pretty much. Even more so now. Yeah. So yeah, that's which goes to show how long I've been in love with this particular musical, that it goes back to at least high school, where I got a little in trouble incorporating it into theater class. But hey, you know what? Worth it.
And teacher learned their lesson too. Like, yeah, you guys need to clear this by me first. I like surprises, but not.
I mean, I did it. It's not like I wore the corset and the fishnets.
No.
I had a sparkly like almost like disco like jumpsuit that Cher, I'm sure, would have been very proud of if she had seen it. But yeah, it's but beyond that, it wasn't that bad.
No, I mean, a very creative comparatively for mashing those two together, because
yeah. So yeah, go me.
Yes.
So, but yeah. Again, not necessarily politically correct. Did that stop me? No.
Nope.
But where was I? I forgot where I was. So other than I just really, really, really love this musical. So, and like I said, it's been parodied, it's been pastiched, it's been, I mean, Tim and Meatloaf made an appearance on SNL. Like within a couple years of that, and they're like, hey, we made this movie called Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, you may have heard of. And I'll have to find the link to that too.
Yes, please do.
They did do a I don't think it was a live, because NBC was doing the live musicals.
It might have been
But
Fox.
yeah,
I think
and
for
I
the
don't
Rocky
think it
Horror.
was. Yeah, and I don't think it was necessarily live.
Right. It was pre-recorded, but I was recorded
Right,
live, but aired later. Yeah.
Yeah, because Tim came back to be the professor, the narrator,
Mm-hmm.
who
Because I
tells
think that was
you
the
who tells you the steps for the time warp.
yeah. Because I think that was the one that had Adam Lambert in it, if memory serves. It didn't go over very well, but Adam did a fantastic job in
Was
it. From
it that one, or was it? I thought.
well, there was a couple different ones. I know there was one with Tim Curry, and then I know there was another one that Adam Lambert was in.
Right. I think the version that they had Tim come to play the narrator, because this is after Tim's stroke.
Okay.
If you've seen Tim Curry, somewhat recently, and you're like, why is he in a wheelchair? He had a stroke a number of years ago. Thankfully, it did not take him from us.
Yes.
But he is wheelchair bound because it did cause some paralysis. He could still speak. He's still got a wicked sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness. But no, there was I think a version with Tim was the version that Laverne Cox played Frankenfurter,
Okay. That
if I remember correctly. But this was a while ago, even then. So
yeah, because Adam Lambert did the one in 2016. Tim Curry played the criminologist in that one, and Laverne Cox was Frankenfurter in that one.
Oh yeah.
Because Adam Lambert did play Eddie.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because there is Rocky Horror. Because there was a live simulcast that was also done at one point from the UK.
Okay.
So.
And then I know VH1 did one with a whole guest cast, and Anthony Stewart Head, our Mr. Giles from Buffy, played Frankenfurter.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's had quite the influence on pop culture and just culture in general. I mean, it is a bit of a solidly embraced by the Alphabet Mafia, among other groups. Really just anybody who feels like they are a little different, that they don't fit in the status quo of, what's quote unquote normal. When Janet's when they first get there, it's the castle, and they do, they see everybody sing and dance to the time warp, and Janet's freaking out, and she's like, it seems unnatural, and Brad's all like, they're probably foreigners with cultural differences, and it's like, Brad's being the source of reason here. Janet is kind of being what the people screaming at the top of the lungs, like, this isn't normal, to just pretty much anything that isn't them. The people have really embraced that, the idea of just kind of bucking the status quo and being like, you know what, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, I'm gonna do my makeup how I want to do it, I'm gonna date who I want to date, I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna dance, and you know what, if you don't like it, forget you. I'm not hurting anybody, although in this case, obviously, Frank does go a little further than that and actually does hurt people. That's where you gotta kind of draw the line. As long as nobody's getting hurt, you're fine. The minute you start dismembering people with an axe and then feeding them to your guests as dinner, you probably should have stopped a few steps before
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. You know, they had meatloaf for dinner, and I don't mean the stuff made out of hamburger. I'm just saying. Spoilers for a 50-year-old movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's and thankfully in however many years it's been, they um re-added the original ending, because it was there for a while. The version I knew that I owned is Brad, Janet, Dr. Scott get kicked out of the castle takes off to Transylvania, and then that's kind of it. And then, closing credits roll, but they've again, I don't remember how many years it's been, but now the song Heroes, Superheroes, has been added back as the final number before the credits roll. So which is good. And that's the last time when I did the screening at GalaxyCon, that was the version we got, so which is good. I do have to say, if you do plan on going back to the interactive bits of it, if you do decide to do a midnight screening, I mean, your level of participation in general is up to your comfort level. Most of the people there are just there to have fun, and they're not going to make you do anything you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Because really that kind of goes against everything Rocky Horror stands for, to be honest with you. Because it's all about individuality and it's supposed to be bodily autonomy. That gets questionable in some spots. But I mean, you could dress up, you can not dress up, you can get yourself a thing of props and do all the props things. You cannot. You can sing if you want and dance along the time warp, or you can just sit there and just kind of people watch and take it all in.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest bit of participation is honestly the call and response, because that's the script. Like, there's certain lines will come up, and one of the other things besides the props is that, like, either people will say, somebody saying, like, Brad will say, "Hi, my name's Brad Majors," and people yell something, usually it's an insult about Brad, and they'll say, "This is my fiance Janet Weiss," and then people say something insulting about her, or somebody will say something, somebody else will say something else.
Mystery Science 3000.
Yeah, it is a little Mystery Science Theater where people are constantly yelling and saying something, and but that script, I'm doing big air quotes there, is not, there's no official script.
No.
So it can vary from location to location. Now, there are companies that do these screenings that may or may not have a script they prefer that you can find if you really want to follow it. So I did find the last screening I did. It was a little difficult to know what to yell because there wasn't a set script to go. There's some jokes that seem to be consistent across the board, but some of the, especially the insults, because I think they end up kind of being kind of regional. How you insult people can vary from location to location, because slang can be different across the board. So, but, that's a small problem, comparatively to, it's a first world problem. Oh man, I don't know the proper insults to yell at Brad every time he introduces himself. Just yell something insulting. Just find something you think would be insulting for somebody like Brad Majors, and call him a cheesehead or something. I don't know. Again, keep in mind, audience, if there's children, want to tone it down a little. If it's 18 and up, really anything goes as far as insults. Every curse word you've ever learned in your life, here's your opportunity to use them. Just know that things are going to get a bit more adult and a bit more extreme. The more adult the crowd is. So just keep that in mind. But beyond that, if you have not done a midnight showing of Rocky Horror, somebody, if you can find somebody who can take you and kind of be your proxy, show you the ropes, great. If you just want to go in by yourself, you could do that too. Like I said, most of these screenings, the people there, the people running it, and then the people there to watch and participate are just there to have fun. They will, if you have questions, they will answer them. Just know that once they realize that you're a virgin, they might have some fun with you. So if you take yourself a little too seriously, this may not be your vibe. But if you can let loose for a little bit, for a couple hours, and you don't mind a little ribbing, a little joshing, a little, maybe poking fun at your own expense. Not anything cruel, just, having fun. Then you may end up finding out that you're having a very good time. And then once you're no longer a virgin, then you find another virgin and you bring them, which I still need to do that with Chauncey. Even Chauncey said that. He's like, I need to go to a midnight screening one of these days. I'm like, if you could get there in time at GalaxyCon. But he's yet to be able to make it to GalaxyCon before it starts on Friday night. We end up doing or he does, but we end up doing something else. So, I definitely want to make sure I make it this year, though. I mean, with it being the 50th.
Oh yeah.
I will be there with bells on.
Because who knows what kind of stops they're going to pull out with it being the 50th.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know, because we're still so far out. GalaxyCon has not posted any sort of set schedule yet. Like I said, generally it's usually done the first night, Friday night, because Saturday night is cosplay contest, and then Sunday night nobody's there. It's over.
Right.
So.
Or people are packing up and ready to go.
Or people are packing up and leaving. The show's over at 5 in the afternoon on Sunday, so there's no midnight. Although even when I've done it at GalaxyCon, it's not at midnight. It starts at 10.
Right, and wraps up around midnight-ish. Yeah.
Right, yeah, because there's usually other stuff that actually goes on at midnight. They do the 18 and up cosplay competition later. That starts at 11:30. Is that I don't think there's any sort of age restriction for Rocky Horror GalaxyCon. I'm sure under a certain age they want an adult with you, but I think that's just the convention in general. So, but just keep that in mind. If you do if you got smaller kids with you, that they do try to keep it as family friendly as you can while still honoring the spirit of what it is. So I expect the screening to be that Friday night. Whether it's still going to be late evening, pre-midnight, if there's going to be anything else along with it, because usually the screening itself is included with your mission. There's sometimes a meet and greet that you could buy separately with Barry, where you get to go hang out on the set, because they create a set on a stage.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And then, because it's the same room that they use for the cosplay contest, so they've got the stage, and then there's 2 screens on each side, so they can use that entire stage area for larger props, way more, theater type activities, and then the movie gets played on the two screens on each side of the stage. So you don't get the true shadow cast where they're able to stand in front of the screen and cast a shadow, hence the term shadow cast. But the extra ticketed, you go and you get to hang out on the stage, and they show you around, and then they do a big group photo with Barry on the stage before the movie. So, and then usually Barry introduces it before the movie starts for everybody, not just the meet and greet people. So, but again, because it's the 50th and we're going to have 4 of the cast members there, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see as we get closer, but
who knows? Maybe they'll do a Q&A panel after or before the.
I would imagine if they don't, there's definitely going to be a Rocky Horror specific panel.
True,
with
yeah.
the 4 of them at some point over the weekend. So, but it should be fun. I cross my fingers and my toes for Barry that he sells more pairs of underwear. I still got mine. Hanging up on my wall. Got a pair of his whitey tighties. Says, "Damn it, Rachel, I love you." I love that. GalaxyCon Fort Wayne, we hardly knew ye. Or not GalaxyCon, PopCon. Too many conventions.
Too many
PopCon Fort. Yeah, I know. PopCon Fort Wayne, we hardly knew ye. We hardly knew you so hardly that I forgot your name. Yeah. Anybody got anything else about Rocky Horror?
If you haven't seen it, give it a go.
Yep.
Listen to the soundtrack first to prep yourself to get familiar, and watch the movie.
And you can watch it, if you want to watch it at home in the safety of your home, your home, just to see. No pressure.
Yep.
You can do that.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to jump right in, or you may find it in a movie theater where it's just a regular screening. It's not the special. Especially with it being the 50th. If you've got a movie theater that likes to show stuff when it's happening, a big anniversary year. At the moment, as we're recording this, it is available on Hulu.
Cool.
So
I'm surprised Fathom hasn't decided to do anything yet with that.
Yeah. Well, because it's on Hulu because Rocky Horror is technically a Fox product, so it's not.
Gotcha.
Frankenfurter is technically a Disney princess now.
Right along with Klinger.
You could put Dr. Frankenfurter right there next to Yzma.
Yep.
Oh my. Well, if any of our listeners want to give their 2 cents about Rocky Horror, let us know if you've ever done a midnight screening, and did you let them know when it was your first time that you were a virgin, and what did they do to you so that you weren't a virgin anymore? So I think the first time, I want to say my first one, they pulled everybody to the front, and then they had everybody line up facing the screen, butts out, and I think they just went down the row and spanked everybody on the ass. See, it's different every time.
I would say mine was tame. We all got up on the stage and they gave us a little screw.
No.
Yeah,
That's funny though.
Ours was tame too. I think it was something that with having to. I think they had to twirl around and then had to say the alphabet backwards or something. It was weird, but I think they were trying to be tame because with it being on university property, and I think it was also even open to some of the public too. So it's like, yeah, we gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was definitely minor, because I was a minor at the time. I was like 14, 15 when I went.
Yeah. And like I said, the first one I went to, the venue doesn't exist anymore, but it was tiny. Like it maybe sat 100 people. So it was tiny to begin with. So they didn't have a lot of room to work with when it came to initiating the virgins in the first place. So that was just the easiest. Just line them up in a row and just go run down and smack them in the ass. Unlike GalaxyCon, where it's in the same room where they hold the cosplay contest. Plenty of room to make people run around in their underwear. So, oh my. So yeah, anyone wants to share their virgin initiation story, please, you can send us feedback, fivishfangirls@gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is thefivishfangirls.com, where you can connect with all of our various social media accounts, both our podcast and personal ones. Also, links to the Goodreads book club, so you can catch up with the last 2 book club discussions of 2025.
Yes.
Oh my god. Crazy. But really, any of our, excuse me, I'm choking from excitement, and fear, and it's cold. So yeah, but we keep the discussions open. Well, so if you want to, go backwards and see what we've talked about before, go right on ahead. It's there. And then if you wish to financially support us, of course, it's never expected, but always appreciated. You can buy merch through our shop on Redbubble. You can become a monthly supporter on Patreon, or you could do just a single donation through Ko-fi or PayPal. All of those linked on the website as well. And oh my goodness, barring any more illnesses, Mother Nature rearing her ugly head, the plague, who knows? Life is fun. Hopefully we can stick to weekly and hopefully finish out the year strong.
Yeah.
We'll cross our fingers and cross our toes. We might need to, I don't know, have Dr. Frankenfurter do something on the oscillator or something to help us out. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I hate the cold. It's been fun. Hopefully we didn't leave you in too much anticipation. But for now, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Bengals saying goodnight.
This is Holly from Wisconsin saying good evening.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's not easy having a good time. Even smiling makes my face ache. thank you, our Fiveish fam, for joining us on this week's geeky journey. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Stay connected with us on our website, thefivishfangirls.com, and follow us on most social media with @FivishFangirls. Plus, check out our nonprofit, Fangirls Give Back, to see how we're making a positive impact in our community. Until next time, stay nerdy and let the squee continue.